Esa idea de una vida convencional, de trabajo y de familia, quedó atrás la manera de ver todo, apática, sin buscar forma ni modo, quedó atrás, quedó atrás.
It was impossible for us to get a bank account in this country or insurance coverage in this country, and unfortunately we lost a lot of shareholders as well.
Animal rights groups say nothing will deter them.
After all, it looked like just another day here yesterday, but 45 minutes before this, something entirely out of the ordinary had happened away from the camera. Representatives of Huntingdon Life Sciences, who'd been welcomed heartily for their planned flotation, suddenly told it was postponed while the exchange considered certain, quotes, concerns. The business of animal testing increasingly difficult. HLS was already forced off the London Stock Exchange in 2001, but Huntingdon's plans to raise capital in America now looking uncertain.
Cruelty. Just 2 minutes out of your day is all it takes. Come on, these animals suffering 24 hours a day. All we're asking for is 2 minutes of your time.
Britain has the reputation of being a nation of animal lovers.
Spare 2 minutes out of your
But
day.
even here, Heather James stands out from the crowd.
Doesn't even cost you anything to stop the
She
stop.
believes firms like Huntingdon Life Sciences should stop using animals in tests, but the company, with government support, is defiant.
I'll do almost anything to shut that place down and will not give up. That's what these people don't understand. We will never give up.
What I would suggest to them is they will fail. We have government backing, extreme government backing in the last 6 months. We have backing from our customers. Our business has improved. Our orders have improved. We're here for the long term, and I'm sure we'll beat the protesters.
Heather James is a spokeswoman for the pressure group SHAC, Stop Huntingdon Animal Cruelty. It has strong support and is in some ways a sophisticated and experienced organisation. SHAC has members who, through other campaigns, have forced the closure of several UK businesses accused of animal cruelty.
Petitions against animal cruelty.
James and her colleagues believe that virtually any means are justified, legal or illegal, to abolish animal testing.
I've got no sympathy for property that gets damaged. If a car is damaged or someone's property is damaged or someone breaks a door down to get beagles out, I'm against physical violence against people and animals. That's why I'm so horrified by, what Huntingdon do.
SHAC says this video was secretly shot at Huntingdon Life Sciences laboratory in New Jersey, USA. Huntingdon also has 2 laboratories in the UK where it was formed. The company is one of the biggest and busiest of its kind in the world. It conducts a wide range of research using a variety of methods and has grown into a leading international provider of toxicology testing services. Huntingdon says it is not cruel to animals and it abides by stringent regulations, including frequent official inspections. Animal activists say that's not the point. They say the heart of the matter is not whether animals are abused during testing, but the fact that they're used at all. Animal activists say other means could and should be applied, such as epidemiology and testing on human tissue cultures. But most people believe that some animal testing is needed.
The campaign which is developed against us say that we infringe animals' rights and that we are cruel to animals. I would suggest that the campaigners are actually infringing humans' rights to expect safe new products, safe new medicines to help them fight disease and to hopefully extend their lives and improve their quality of life.
SHAC says it opposes violence against humans, but a minority of animal activists rule out nothing. And the managing director of Huntingdon was wounded in an attack outside his home. The police attitude is direct and to the point.
Baseball bats and heads aren't designed to go together, and potentially we have the danger for a very, very serious, if not fatal, attack. They are criminals. They're criminals, they're people who are quite happy to resort to pre-planned acts of significant violence and who have little regard for the value of human life.
Direct popular action against those involved in the use or abuse of animals first arose in Britain around 25 years ago. Demonstrations are now commonplace. This one was in Oxford against a Japanese company. But rallies and marches are just one part of the animal activists' campaign. The minority advocating violence has hurt a few people, but has also frightened many more into breaking contact with the industry. Banks supporting Huntingdon were targeted until they cut their links, forcing it to seek help from the British government and from abroad. Robin Webb has been to jail for his beliefs. He says the law has failed to protect animal rights, so people must go outside of the law to do so. Robin Webb is revered as a hero by supporters and reviled as a criminal by opponents. He equates the campaign with global human rights issues.
One cannot be violent against property. Property has no feelings, it has no social awareness. To damage property, to save life or to prevent suffering and cruelty is justifiable. It is justified to break the law in pursuit of justice for animals as it was to break the law in pursuit of the abolition of slavery and the emancipation of women.
Huntingdon Life Sciences rejects the analogy with human rights, arguing that there's no alternative to some animal testing and people come first. It also points to what's widely held to be the majority view.
Certainly in the UK, there is now a more vocal and a more violent movement to try and stop the use of animals in research and in medical research. I would suggest that the UK population in general hasn't altered its opinion on this, and the last Broad survey certainly supported the use of animals in essential research.
While a small number commits or threatens violence to try to achieve their aims, organisations like SHAC and the Animal Liberation Front continue public campaigns to win favour. And they've been successful. Huntingdon has moved its headquarters to the United States. Its shares are no longer traded on the London Stock Exchange, but laboratory work in the United Kingdom will carry on. Animal rights activists are unlikely to be placated until it sees the end of the company altogether. As anger rises over the issue of animal use, violence and other forms of extremism are becoming more common. Some companies and associations making use of animal testing have called for boycotts of financial organisations that succumb to intimidation. Some have also called for tougher laws making it an offence to campaign for the closure of a legitimate business. That in turn has been described as an abuse of human rights, even by people who don't support many animal activists' views. If laboratory testing were ended, there is another matter that disturbs some activists and calls into question the definitions of animal use and abuse, meat eating. Robin Webb is unequivocal.
Well, for many years, we've seen butcher shops attacked, their windows smashed, their locks glued, and being burnt down, and being closed down, as they are perceived as the high street face of the meat industry, which is the largest area of animal abuse there is. And the bigger they come, the harder they fall. I think it has to be fought for. It's a war. It's an all-out war.
Huntingdon Life Sciences has had to change its name. Activists may not be winning the argument, but some fear they are winning the campaign.
Close down HLS! 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 Close down HLS!
Mobilise and motivate. Your body is the grain that tips the scales of hate, accumulating weight. Your mind is the gate. Brutal regimes we will not tolerate. Question the given line, stay independent. Little by little the flows gain momentum. Picture the place the potential awaits. Free from the shackles of nation states, free from the hate, free from the herd and its mewling for blood. Because what we need is resistance, resistance, resistance. What we need is resistance, resistance. Resistance, resistance, resistance. I'm needing resistance, resistance now. مقاومة ضد الحرب ودم الذي سال على الأرض والاحتلال في البلدان والأمن لكل إنسان والإنسانية ضمن الأديان. On se mobilise et en plus on résiste. Tous les agressions et actions persistent contre les pouvoirs qui veulent contrôler notre destinée. This is Operation Cyclone.